Hi friends, and welcome to another video. I am starting this vlog. It's Monday. Happy Monday everyone. And I'm starting this vlog because I was lucky enough to receive an ARC of the Witch's Magical Guide to Innkeeping. I'm going to double check that. A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. This is the author that wrote the very secret Society of Irregular Witches. Geez, these titles, I tried my best, okay? I'm really excited. I was really excited for this release because I really loved Irregular Witches. I gave it 5-star and I loved the characters and the setting and the cozy feeling that it gave me. And I hope that it would be replicated in this new release. This book isn't out until the 15th of July. So by the time this video comes out, it should actually already be out. I am like 28% of the way through this book and I'm really enjoying it. I think the first 10% I was finding my footing because there was a lot of characters introduced, but there was also a shift about the 10% mark in timelines, and there seems to be a shift in POV. Even though we are in the third person narrative, it still changes who we follow quite quickly. So it took me a minute to get my bearings in this world, but I'm now in it and I know all the characters and I know the situation. So in this, we follow Sarah, who as a child was like a prodigy in magic, and then she cast a spell to resurrect her dead aunt and lost pretty much all of her magic, and she got exiled from the guild. And the guild is this like the politics of the witching world. Nothing goes by. Nothing gets passed unless the guild says it does. And so Sarah lives in this ramshackle bed and breakfast in the middle of nowhere. It was a fixer-upper when her parents invested in it, and it's still a fixer-upper now, but she has lived and worked on this inn and on these grounds since she was, she lived there when she was a kid, and now she has taken over and is running it. And when she was younger, there was this spell that she put out that kind of guides people to the inn when they really need it most in their life. And I love that little detail in this story because it's like a beacon for people that actually need it. And there's a reason why people are turning up at the inn. And I really, really appreciate that. I also think that once you get your bearings, because there's quite a lot of characters, once you get your bearings with the characters and the setting, we then get introduced more to the guild, which is interesting because I believe they were mentioned in Secret Society of Irregular Witches, but I believe we're going to get more information on the guild in this world, in this book, which I'm really excited about because I want to know what their power is. I want to know how they work. And so we're following Sarah as she tries to find ways to reunite with her magic. And so far, we have been introduced to Theo, who is a young lad that Sarah took in because of his magical abilities. We have Jasmine, and we have a couple of people that stay at the inn that are pretty eccentric. And now we have been introduced to Luke, who is like a scholar that works for the guild, and he needed a place for him and his sister to be, and lo and behold, they wound up at the inn with Sarah. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. I want to know where or if she reunites with her magic. I also really like Luke and his sister, and I would love to see more of them. And Theo is given like found family feel, which I love. So I'm currently 28% of the way through. I'm gonna refer to it as Innkeeper's Guide because it's just easier than the actual title, but I'll always put the cover on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. So I'm 28% of the way through that. Something else I would want to read this week is this right here, Snot Girl, Volume 1. I've read the 3 volumes that are released, but the 4th volume is now released. I'm just waiting to get my hands on it. I had it pre-ordered, but they haven't like kept their pre-order promise because they didn't have enough stock. So now I just need to wait for the 4th one to come. But I thought I would go back and restart this from the start so that I can re-immerse myself in the world before the new book comes out. So I would love to get to this. This is a really fun graphic novel about Lottie. This is Lottie here, who is a social media influencer, but she deals with a lot of allergies, and you just follow her and her life being a social influencer and meeting all these new people, and she gets involved with someone called Caroline, and that's where our story takes off. I really love the artwork in this. I love the artwork. I love the style of the story, and I can't wait for the new one. So I'm going to reread volume 1 in order to prepare for volume 4. So I'd like to read this week. The thing that I'm crocheting is a dress by, I'm following the tutorial by Yarns and Finn here on YouTube. I will leave the link in the description, and I will pop a picture here what the thumbnail looks like. And it's a dress. I am currently quite a way through it. Oh, it looks so good on camera. So this is how far we've got. I've worked the straps, the body, and now I'm working on these ruffles, and I really just need to work length into this piece. It is the same stitch repeated all the way down now until I get the correct length that I want. So I will be working on this week. Hopefully I'll get some good progress and I can show you guys what it looks like as we go along. But I'm really loving this. Was so much fun to do. So if you're looking for like a fun dress to make, I highly recommend this pattern. And it's gonna like go like a skater dress, so it will fan out at the hips, which I love. So currently working on this crochet dress, hoping to read more, well, reread volume 1 of Snot Girl, and hoping to potentially finish, no, hoping to finish Innkeeper's Guide, not potentially. So welcome to the vlog, and I will come back when I have more to update. It just done me so dirty. It went from such a really cute, heartwarming, romantic scene to devastating news. No. I'm currently 70% of the way through Innkeeper's Guide. Not 70, 60. Did I say 60? Did I say 70? I'm 60% of the way through. So if I said 70, I'm lying to you. I'm 60% of the way through Innkeeper's Guide, and I am loving this. I thought it was going to be quite hard for this author to replicate the feelings that I had with Secret Society of Irregular Witches, but they've done it. They've done it. And I'm so, so happy. This book feels like not the same, but it gives same vibes. I'm very much in love with the characters, and I love that they're so nuanced and they feel so real as well. And I just think that I would read any books from this author in this like world. If they keep taking them out, I'm gonna keep reading them, because I love the way that these books just, they tickle that cozy fantasy part of my brain where the book kind of just feels like a hug. And I love that. I love that so much. So we're currently in a situation in the book where the stakes are slowly getting higher. You know, we're in a position where we need a win. We definitely need a win right now. I am in love with the inn. They call it the Batty Hole, which I want to visit. I belong there, okay? I need a room and I need to stay there for the rest of my life. Simple as that. But all the characters just come together to create this ensemble of found family, and it is so deep rooted in the you can choose your own family kind of thing. Either way, it's found family and it's really, really cute. And I love Luke's sister Posey and essentially Sarah's ward Theo are like friends. And then we have Jasmine, who was obviously brought back from the dead, but she has her friend Matilda, and I think they vibe with each other more than friends, and I need to see that. I need to see them have a happily ever after, because it's going to break my heart in the most incredible way. Like, ah. And then we have, like, you know, we have Sarah, and I was thinking this when I was reading, that this could have easily turned into like a completely different story, because the Batty Inn is surrounded by a spell that Sarah cast when she was younger, and it still keeps going. The little bit of magic she has left keeps restoring this spell, and like it gives her like hauntings of past Sarahs, and it could have easily turned Sarah into like a bitter witch where she would do anything to get her powers back. And it didn't. Like, she's still hopeful and optimistic and full of love and compassion, and I love that. And it would have been really interesting to see this story in like a horror setting, to see Sarah go in the situation of, you know, vengeance, or, you know, greed, or she like feels betrayed enough to go steal someone's magic or hurt someone for magic. But the fact that this is like so cute, and even though Sarah doesn't feel like she belongs without her magic, she still makes other people belong, and I love that as a character trait. I really, really do. I just think it works so well in this story. I'm making breakfast. I'm obsessed with spinach, mushroom, tomato omelette in a wrap with cottage cheese and tomato sauce. Honestly, you should try it. It's great. So I'm currently making that at the minute, but I thought I would pop in and just tell you that I'm obsessed, and the stakes are slowly becoming higher, and I can't wait to see where this story ends. And I feel like these books and this author, the stories are always going to have a happily ever after. So I kind of don't feel scared to go into the third act, because I know that the author is going to do my characters justice. Like, they're my babies and I love them. And I'm so happy that I was able to get the same feels from this book as I did with Witches, because that's what I was hoping for. So 60% of the way through, currently loving it, gonna make my breakfast, and then maybe read some more, maybe crochet on my dress, I don't know, but we'll figure it out. I have finished The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, and I'm giving this a 5 stars. I loved this, and I think I said in the previous clip, I was kind of apprehensive if the author would be able to replicate the warm, fuzzy feelings that I got when I read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. But I can confirm this book gave me the same feels, and I loved this. I devoured this. I read this in like 2 days, and it's one of those books that the only way I can describe the feeling I get when I read these 2 books is that when I was younger, if we got caught in a rainstorm, we would go to my grand's, and she would take off all our wet clothes, dry them up for us, give us a big fluffy robe. She would make us a cup of tea, and we would all sit and get warm, and our clothes would get dry. And the magic of that moment is what I feel when I read these books. It literally feels like getting a warm cup of tea from a loved one. And I have never experienced a book to make me feel that way, and it's It's so amazing. This book contains not only magic in the plot, but it also contains that little bit of magic that just feels like a warm hug. And I can see me returning to these two books when I need a pick-me-up, or when I just want to fall in love again. I feel like I can pick these books up. They're kind of low stakes, they're cozy fantasy, so you kind of know what you're getting into when you pick one of these books up. I highly recommend both of them if you could not tell already. I will be buying a a trophy book for my shelves. That did not come out right, but I think you know what I mean. So I will be buying a copy of this book to put next to Witches, and I'm really, really glad that I loved this as much as I did. Found family, cottagecore vibes, interesting world, interesting magic system, diverse characters, great mental health rep, lovable characters, like just an ensemble cast that you love to follow. So if you're looking for any of these things, I highly recommend this book. And yeah, I'm so glad that I was lucky enough to receive an arc of this, and I hope if you pick it up you get all the warm fuzzies that I did. I have not picked up my dress. Shock horror. I didn't do something I said I would do. Oh no. No, I will. It's just I haven't picked it up yet, should I say, because I got distracted. Because this is a pattern by AC Crochet. I will pop the thumbnail here and I will leave the link in the description. It is a granny stitch, and it's going to be like a long granny stitch cardigan. Now, the reason that I wanted this was because it's now getting warm here, and I have like a certain thing that I wear to work every day, right? But my jackets tend to lean on the side of, I either have winter jackets because I live in Scotland, or I have like going out jackets that are too nice, in my opinion, for work. So I've been wearing my first hexagon cardigan to work back and forth, and I thought maybe I should make a new one so that I have like a longer, bigger one, because the first hexagon cardigan I made, obviously I can see the faults in it. Literally the cuffs are different sizes because I forgot how much I chained. So even though I love it, I absolutely love it, I do think that like this one, I've now made one for my sister, one for my mum, I've made a second one for myself, but the yarn was a little bit thicker, so it's not as drapey, which I didn't think would be an issue, but when I weighed it, it feels kind of stiff and I don't like that. So I decided to start this longer one by AC Crochet, and it is so far just granny stitch, which I love. I'm using this variegated yarn here because I thought it's neutral enough that it'll go with everything that I need for work, while also this yarn is soft. It's inconsistent, but it's soft. Like, this is the Lion brand. I think it's the Mandala yarn. I'll pop a picture up here. It is super soft and it feels like super lightweight when it's stitched up. I made a scarf for someone at Christmas with this, and I know that it feels really nice stitched up. It does have some inconsistencies, like in the yarn. Sometimes you get a bit that'll be slightly thinner, but I just work with it because it's really soft. That's my dog coming in for a snoop. So yeah, I haven't stitched on my dress, but I did start this because I'm an inconsistent queen over here. I have started Snot Girl, my reread of Snot Girl. No, puppy, wait. I have started my reread of Snot Girl. I don't have much to say. Essentially, in Snot Girl, you follow Lottie Persons, who is a fashion blogger, and she meets this like cool surfer girl. She gives like cool girl vibes, and then one day they go out and the surfer girl ends up dead, and you're like, what is happening? That is like the premise of the first volume. And it's so good because it's an unreliable narrator, because you really can't rely on Lottie. So yeah, I'm back into the world, back into the drawings. I love the style of this. It's so colorful. The artwork is really cool, and I'm having a good time. I've only read like 40-ish pages, so I am on my reread of that. I will pick up crocheting on my dress at some point, and I'm currently crocheting something new because I have no self-control. But I will come back when I have more to update. Confession time. I am indeed still in my jammies, and I have not finished my reread of Snot Girl Volume 1. Time's just gotten away from me. Not gonna lie, I have been distracted by that book that's sitting right there, and there will potentially be a full spoiler vlog coming for that. But because I've been reading that, I didn't really give myself enough time to finish Snot Girl before this video goes live, because I need this clip and it edited to go live today. So unfortunately, I have not finished Snot Girl. But since I've already read this, I kind of know how I feel about it. But essentially, if you want something that's fun and fast-paced and mysterious with a juxtaposition between the huge, colourful, cutesy, smexy kind of art style and kind of an unreliable, mysterious narration, this is the perfect graphic novel for you. Also, as the series goes on, we get more and more into like, I don't even know what to call it, just kind of like fever dream territory, because you follow Lottie and she's not a reliable person at all. So you really don't know where the next volume's gonna go. And I love that about this. I will be continuing my reread of the 1 to 3 volumes, so I can read the 4th volume when it finally gets to me, even though I pre-ordered it in December. It's still not here yet, which is unfortunate. But I will be continuing my reread of these before I dive into the 4th volume. So that's confession number 1. Because, well, number 2, because I'm still in my jammies. Confession number 2 is I haven't finished Snot Girl yet. But I have put a few more rows into the cardigan that I started. And I'm really liking the colorway as it's working up. I think this is going to be a really nice neutral kind of variegated cardigan once it's all done. I potentially will be updating my crochet projects in other vlogs. So if you are interested to see how my crochet comes along, then I would subscribe and hit the bell. And you could potentially see my journey through my whips, I guess. I have stitched like 2 more rows onto my dress. I'm going to insert a clip here, a video here of what the dress is actually looking like on my body. I'm very tempted to include this in my Binding 13 vlog. So potentially you will see more progress in my next video, hopefully, if I can, you know, read on time. So if you're interested to see how this dress ends up looking, it'll be included in my Binding 13 vlog, but it might take me a little bit longer. It just depends. Like, it depends how much downtime I have. I do have next week off of work, so I will have more, you know, more time to enjoy my hobbies. So hopefully you will see all of these things come together in future videos. So if you're interested in that, I would be happy for you to stick around. And I've now got to go edit this vlog and upload it so that you can see it on Friday when I planned for you to see it. Sorry that this is a little bit of a messy outro, but you know, life is life and sometimes life is chaos. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Remember to stay safe, happy and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.